Today I'm going to be showing you how you can turn these static AI images into smoothly animated animations like this one. So the first thing we're going to need is an AI image. Now there is multiple ways you can generate it. I usually use one of two websites. The first one being Adobe Firefly, because you already probably have the Adobe license, and the second one being Leonardo.ai, which is free, and sometimes I get a lot better results with that one. So play around with the prompts and commands until you get an image that you like. So now that you have an image that you like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up Adobe Photoshop, import it into Photoshop, and what we're gonna be doing is separating this layer right here and this layer, the background layer, right? So we can have that depth in the animation. Let me show you. I'm gonna try and use one of these first, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna try something else. Now, it already selected the subject perfectly. Now what I'm gonna do is click Command. I'm gonna hold Command and press J. So we just duplicate it, and now we have only the subject. But I also want to add this rock. It's also in the same depth as a character, so I also want to add in the rock or whatever this is. What we're gonna do, select this layer. We're gonna go right here and make sure that Quick Selection Tool is selected. Now we're just gonna select it. The mask doesn't really have to be perfect. It depends on what quality you want. Play around, make sure that the mask is clean. I'm gonna get back to you when I clean up my mask. So the mask is clean, but now let's make sure this layer is selected, and we're gonna press Command J. Now we disable the original image. We only have this one and we have the subject, but now we are also missing one layer, and that is clean background. So let me show you how we're gonna do that. Press on the subject layer. I'm gonna hold Command, I'm gonna click on it. Now it should be selected just like so. And I'm also gonna do is, while holding Command, I'm also gonna hold Shift and click on the rock layer. So now we have both of these selected. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right here back to the original, and I'm gonna do is select over here, click Select, and we're gonna click Modify and Expand. Now this window should pop up, and we're gonna expand it by around, let's say 10 to 20 pixels, just like so. Now we're gonna go over here and click Generate Fill. Just generate. So I think the results are here. So let me deselect these layers, and perfect. Now let's actually go over here and first of all disable the background. And what we're gonna do is export the subject and the rock together as one image without the background, and then we're gonna go over and export the background too. Just without the background, File, Export, and Quick Export as PNG. Now disable the top layers, go and enable these two layers. So we have just the background. Go to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Now that's pretty much it in Photoshop. Let's move into After Effects and start animating. Okay, so now in After Effects, I already imported the background and I already imported the subject with the rock. We're gonna select them and import that into our timeline. It should look like this. We disable the background, it should be just the character. Disable the character, it should be just the background. We're gonna name it just to stay organized. So subject and the background, just like so. Now let's start animating. Go right here, right click, new, and we're gonna create a camera. We're gonna go one node, just because I feel like we don't really need a super complicated. Let's go one node for this tutorial. I'm gonna be making a video on two node cameras because there is a difference. It's a pretty big one, and it depends on the animation that you want to do. I'm gonna press OK, and now what we're gonna do is go to views. We're gonna make sure we have two views, right? We're gonna make the right view the active camera view, and the other one I'm gonna make let's say custom view 1, just so we can see everything a little bit better. Now select both of these layers, and what we're gonna do is make sure this is selected, so they're actually 3D layers. Now also go right here and enable this. This is motion blur. We want it. Motion blur is something you want to add realism and just to make it look smoother. Select the background layer and we're gonna move it further, just like so. Let's say, for example, like this. So it's really like further away, and we're gonna scale it up so it lines up. So it lines up right here. Let's just scale it up. As you guys can see, it looks perfect. Now we basically, as you can see, we created depth. What we need to do now is animate it so it actually shows that. Go right here, select camera layer, and press P on your keyboard. Now we're gonna animate position, so click this stopwatch icon. Now we're gonna drag the first keyframe a little bit further, and we're gonna create a new keyframe on the start. And we're just gonna, select where we want the animation to start. For example, I want it to start like here, just like so. So it really shows depth, right? And a little bit on the right, like too. If you play back the animation, this is what it should look like. The animation doesn't look the best, to be honest. So let's go over to keyframes and actually let me show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna select both of the keyframes and we're gonna right click on them, keyframe assistance, easy ease. And we're gonna go into here, the graph editor. And now if you're new to After Effects, this is gonna look very scary to you. Now, the easiest way you can do this is right click and go to speed graph. And now with all the positions selected, we're gonna make a graph something similar to this one. So it starts off fast and kind of fades out with the speed. So let me show you just like so. But now I'm actually gonna make the animation a lot slower. So I'm just gonna drag this keyframe a lot, So we get something like this. So this is just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful shot. Just like so. And yeah, if we take a look, it's basically pretty much done. Let's say, for example, you can even add a text layer. Let's say text, scale it up a little bit, make sure it's 3D, the motion blur is enabled. We're gonna drag it a little bit in the middle of these two, scale it up more, just like so. And maybe just add it just slightly behind the subject, like so. And this is basically what it should look like. It looks super beautiful. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how you turn a static image to a smoothly animated animation. But now if you want to learn more and if you truly want to take this animation to the next level, watch the video on the screen right now.